My cherished child, you stand at the brink of a divine awakening, so do not turn away now. An unseen door is about to swing open in your life, and if you leave before the end, you will miss the moment I breathe new purpose into your spirit. Stay with me through every word of this message, for the seed I plant in your soul here will blossom into unstoppable hope. Watch until the last moment, and be ready to receive the life-changing revelation I've reserved just for you. Each one is an active seed, embedded deep in the spiritual ground of your being, awaiting a heart that resonates with truth. If you welcome these words with gratitude and trust, they will begin to sprout, to flourish, and in time will yield sacred fruit beyond human comprehension. You are being summoned to renewal, to purification, and to take hold of a new direction for your life. These words come not merely to comfort you in this instant, but to guide you into a fresh dimension of living. I notice every hurried stride you take, every turbulent force that life hurls you into like a ceaseless storm. The world, with its numerous demands, obligations, tasks, aspirations, visions, and anxieties, unceasingly vies for your time and concentration. The clamor of contemporary living, the endless list of tasks, the continuous flood of data, the notices, the appointments, the assumptions, break over you like an overwhelming surge, often leaving you unable to distinguish what genuinely matters and what only burdens your soul. I perceive how frequently you become fatigued, not necessarily in your physical body, but in a mind that is never permitted to rest. You remain active, yet sense a void within. You still present a smile, but behind that facade dwells a silent sky no one else can observe. You persist in fulfilling your responsibilities, yet your soul is parched, like arid earth that has for too long missed the reviving presence of my spirit. Sometimes the most precious thing is not your outward achievements, but the clarity alive in your interior life. In a culture that hurries to do more, I am calling you to be more intimately present. Even a few minutes set aside to return inwardly and aim your heart toward me can open truths that countless seasons of frantic effort could never disclose. One distinct moment of your soul embracing stillness before me is enough for me to plant within you a wisdom that surpasses reasoning, a tranquility no external factor can purchase. Never diminish the power of quietness. Do not suppose that productivity is found only in constant movement. It is in pausing that your spirit experiences restoration. It is when you retreat from the clamor that your eyes can finally perceive how distant you've drifted and what requires adjustment. It is in your silence that I have room to speak, and you will discover I have always been present, waiting for you to return. Not with condemnation, but with a holy embrace for a treasured child I hold eternally dear. My beloved one, you need not labor to be more in order to hear me. You merely need to be here, with your unfiltered heart, with the questions still awaiting answers, with the aspirations yet unfinished, with the disappointments you have kept hidden. I do not ask you to approach me in flawlessness. I desire you to come in truth. In that genuine space, our exchange will unfold. No expectations, no ceremonies, only your quiet willingness to remain still and listen. I do not insist that you discard everything in your life, but I urge you to elevate what genuinely sustains your soul daily. In the midst of all your plans, make a modest corner for me, a place for your spirit to find rest, a moment in the day when all else recedes, leaving only you and me in a profound and wordless fellowship. Allow that portion of time to be an intimate encounter where you have no need to perform or accomplish, just to exist. And I, likewise, will simply be who I am, your steadfast Father, the one who calls you by name with tireless love and enduring patience. Emerging from that silence, you will feel renewed in spirit, no longer tossed about by trivial temptations, no longer propelled by others' expectations. You will gradually discern the essential over the empty. You will choose not from urgency, but from insight. You will speak words that are mindful, apt, and full of intent. You will live not solely for achievements, but for a deeper connection with me, with your most authentic self and with those I have placed around you. My beloved child, as you gently discover how to pause, to listen, and to dwell in this sacred stillness, nurture within yourself the deep consciousness that you are receiving a precious blessing, the wisdom descending from heaven. This understanding is not to be admired as a precious jewel, but to serve as a compass for each step in your routine. Once you start viewing your life through the lens of my wisdom, you will note that many pursuits you once poured your time and effort into held no enduring significance. Some relationships simply kept you revolving in painful cycles. Some goals led you away from your truest being. Some fleeting indulgences robbed you of the awareness I had quietly planted in you through tears and grace. Hence, I am calling you back to the center, toward what is genuinely worthy of your time and heart. If in your core you genuinely desire the blessings that come from me, not just material gifts, but deeper, more timeless treasures such as serenity, healing, insight, and fulfillment, then let me see this longing embodied in how you choose to live. Let every act, every decision, every spoken thought be a proclamation. I am ready. Do not solely crave in prayer. Confirm it by being steadfast, by choosing the good even unseen, by placing me ahead of all else in your life. Because, my child, time is something that, once consumed, will never again be yours. It is unlike the rain, which can fall and then return another day. Time runs forward as a single channel, and each heedless second is a segment of your life lost beyond recall. Do not allow the months and years to slip away, only to later reflect with sorrow and say, if only I had reserved time to love, to pardon, to live as the purpose for which I was formed. I realize that on certain days you feel weighed down, as though the load you carry is too heavy to drop. I see how you are drawn into cycles of obligation, pressure, and all that you deem necessary to gain acceptance. Yet I come to assure you, you do not have to manage everything. You merely need to handle what you have been directed to do. You do not need to sprint against time. You only need to fully embrace each moment I grant you so that every instant becomes a sacred investment in your soul's eternal welfare. Recollect this, my child, in the blink of an eye, everything can change. One word spoken at the right moment can rescue a life. One firm resolution can alter a destiny. 1 minute of turning back to me with genuine humility is enough for me to intervene, to restore, and to bestow upon you an entirely fresh start. The things that crumbled before, the portals you were certain had permanently closed, the dreams you had resigned to the grave, I am able to breathe life into them when you are prepared to trust that no experience is wasted if placed into my hands. Indeed, you might lose many things in this lifetime: opportunities, assets, companions, even your name. But the most priceless treasure you must never surrender is the time you invest living in the divine plan I orchestrated for you. It will not only define your personal future, but also influence those around you, whom I deliberately placed in your path, not by a random twist, but by my design. You contribute to a broader narrative, and each choice you make participates in unrolling that sacred tapestry. Therefore, my beloved, decide to live deliberately. Rise each morning not just to survive, but to dwell wholeheartedly, attentive, valiant, and anchored in faith. Greet every dawn as a blank page upon which you can continue composing the narrative of your life with genuine words, compassionate deeds, and decisions that prove your awareness of what is truly significant. If you entrust me with your hours, I will return wholeness to you. If you safeguard your heart from what drains but does not replenish, I will fill you with an insight the world cannot fathom. If you opt for what is righteous, even in subtle, quiet ways, I will open doors you never dreamed possible. Then you will comprehend that the seemingly mundane was actually the birthplace of wonders. Embrace this truth. Carve it into your heart. Let it become the very pulse of your daily existence. That time is a grace-bestowed gift, and each day lived in my nearness and purpose is one step nearer to an eternal promise. You are freed from the relentless pace of society, I have set you apart from it to walk differently, to move with the awareness that each moment is holy, purposeful, and woven into the splendid journey I decreed for you. My beloved child, I perceive the deepest chambers of your spirit, regions untouched by anyone else. I am familiar with every scar time has inscribed upon your heart, the hurt of all that did not occur, the once flaming hopes now dimmed into remote recollection, and even the quiet sighs that never left your lips during the night. Perhaps there were instances when you looked over your shoulder and softly lamented, if only I had made different choices, had dared to act while the opportunity was there, had not been separated from certain dear ones. If only I had been aware earlier of what I know at present. I hear the silent tears within you, the need to feel understood, to be pardoned, to start over from a place untainted and properly aligned. Maybe, in your pursuit of answers, you sought validation in many places, longing for appreciation, hurling yourself into the world's competitions, hoping something out there would make you feel complete. In the end, you only found yourself emptier, more weary, as though a piece of your soul was missing, something unnamed yet always sensed in the quiet corners of your existence. My child, what your heart yearns for is not in a distant land, nor does it reside in the glittery illusions of the world. It is found right here in this very dialogue between you and me. This moment, precisely now as you pause, open your heart, and heed my voice, is the gateway to an entirely fresh start. Do not suppose your life must undergo dramatic shifts to pivot onto a new course. No, my beloved. Sometimes a small shift, a brief silence, a humble pause to catch my whisper is enough to guide what you assumed was already fixed. Never forget, I spoke the expanse of the heavens, the earth, the seas, and every creature into being by my word. The whole cosmos emerged from my command. Today, that same commanding word rests upon your life. I require no lengthy interval to work wonders. I merely need a heart that is willing. One instant of receptiveness to my presence, one subdued assent of the soul saying, "Father, I yearn to hear you," is adequate for me to begin healing, restoring, and redirecting within you. Never underestimate the power of a fleeting moment of contact. I am not confined by time, circumstance, or external scenes. I can use what appears small or trivial to manifest something extraordinary. Never assume you must be thoroughly prepared or deserving to approach me. It is in your fatigue, in those intervals of feeling unfit, vulnerable, and uninformed, that I can reach the deepest, for your heart is soft enough to welcome my presence, and I will not let that moment slip away. Allow this time you spend here to serve as the base for a profound rejuvenation. Let every word I share fall like seeds into the fertile earth of your heart. Let go of the anxiety that you might not comprehend it all at once. Release the worry that it might be too late. With me, no time is ever past the point of recovery. Indeed, I specialize in forging fresh starts out of shattered remnants. I do not shy away from the broken. I use precisely those shards to illustrate my unending love, my might, and my steadfastness. If you can trust that I still have something fresh to bring into your life, then let this day be the beginning. Surrender what is no longer yours. The burdens from before, the regrets clinging like heavy chains, the visions blurred by uncertainty and hesitation. Let them drift away like a leaf floating downstream, departing from a stone. Unseal your heart to accept what is genuine, coming not from this earth, but from heaven. What I supply will not exhaust your vitality, but reinvigorate your being. Therefore, my precious one, let this be the day you sincerely choose to let go, not only in words, but with a gentle, resolute determination in the depths of your soul. I know there are injuries in your heart that have yet to close, recollections that hover like shadows, darkening the new dawn. I see how you hold tightly to the fragments of suffering, as though relinquishing them would mean abandoning some piece of your identity. Yet I speak with all my affection. No, you will not lose anything of value. In truth, you will rediscover your true essence, the complete, radiant self I designed from the outset. Old scars, even those from far in the past, can cling to your soul like a shade. They dim not only your outlook but also weigh upon your every step. Perhaps betrayal left you hesitant to trust. Perhaps unkind words hardened your heart. Perhaps disillusionment remains so long that you dread forming new dreams. But my child, I did not make you to be entangled in past yokes. I formed you to dwell freely, to breathe each moment in fullness, with confidence and anticipation. Allow what is done to recede, not because it was meaningless, but because it need not define the path ahead. Let your inner being open, letting old sorrow dry, so that fresh joy can replace it. Let your heart be purified of hostility, whether toward yourself or others. Forgiveness is not denying the hurt. Forgiveness is choosing remedy over continually reopening wounds. Healing, my beloved, commences the moment you accept you are worthy of more than the burdens you have carried. Resist the impulse to let hopelessness govern your thoughts. Refuse to let anger serve as the lens through which you interpret the world. You were not born to be laden forever by defeat or sorrow. You were created to radiate light's brilliance and resurrection's might. If I am able to bring the sun up each morning after the darkness of the night, then surely I can raise your heart to life, strong, luminous, and brimming with renewed vitality. Open yourself to the promise of a future that is not merely wishful thinking, but a genuine prophecy drawing closer. Let hope penetrate each chamber of your mind, filling all the places where trepidation once lived. Trust that you are on the track to becoming a new person, no longer restricted by what has been, no longer bound by errors, but led by love, by truth, and by my unwavering kindness toward you. Each time the sun emerges at dawn, it is more than just the planet's regular cycle. It is a sign that I am gifting you a fresh opportunity, an unmarked canvas upon which you can redraw your narrative, not by people's assessments, not through past mistakes, but through the discernment, valor, and revitalized faith that reside within you. May each morning be a holy vow that yesterday will not deprive you of today, that old transgressions will not annihilate your capacity to love or fully inhabit this present moment. You need not lug the entirety of your history with you. There are lessons to be kept, so you may develop, and there are also memories to be released, so you may ascend. Do not reduce yourself to begging for what has gone. Instead, become the guardian of the riches of new life. Discriminate what to remember and what to let slip. Surrender the weight that impedes this spiritual renewal emerging in you, for you cannot hold what is fresh if your grip remains on the old. I am laying before you a route, not one already finished, but one filled with potential. Upon it, every footstep you take manifests faith. With every stride, something new emerges. Clearer insight into your identity, a mended bond, a sharper sense of mission, a joy that is discreet yet permeates every minute. You will be astounded to learn that life has never been devoid of hope. You merely needed enough stillness to notice the faint light painting a new horizon. My beloved, the revival you crave is not distant. It has already begun within. Each time you grant forgiveness, each time you refuse to allow hurt to speak louder than belief, each time you move forward, even while echoes from the past call you, you are co-laboring with me in shaping a new chapter of your life. Let your shoulders ease. Exhale whatever no longer nurtures the divine life inside you, and embrace the fresh wind I am breathing into your essence. This wind is more than a brief gust. It is the breath of heaven, bringing restoration, bravery, and promises not forgotten. You were appointed to thrive, not to merely endure, designed to be liberated, not chained to bygone narratives. Let that reality manifest in your life right now. Cease waiting for another day. Do not hold out for flawless conditions, because I have already chosen you, and you need only to accept living as one who is chosen. My beloved child, after you decide to release your past, to put down the load you've been carrying, and to allow your heart to open to new beginnings, let the words you speak become the groundwork for creating the new realm I am leading you to. Indeed, your words are not empty echoes. They possess creative force. They are the overflow of your spirit, reflecting faith or fear, seeds sown into both the invisible dimension and the everyday realm you inhabit. Have you realized that repeated declarations shape the environment around you? A phrase uttered in despair adds weight to the air you breathe. A tiny remark drenched in sarcasm can wound an already frail soul. A vocalized uncertainty can deepen a heart's fracture when that spirit is barely clinging to faith. Yet the opposite is equally real. One confident affirmation, an earnest prayer, these may become the stretched out hand that rescues another from the brink of a dark abyss. Therefore, my child, start with what is nearest you, the manner in which you address yourself and those around you. Let your words no longer stem from bitterness or hurt, but mirror the cure that is surfacing inside you. Learn to support your inner being with words of gentleness instead of wearing the mask of self-critique in the name of self-awareness. Remind yourself, I am transforming bit by bit every day. Tell your core, I am guided, even when the road is not visible, and assure those around you, hope exists. There is a path out. A hand is reaching for us, ready to pull us out of the depths. Shut out the voices of negativity that try to slip into your mind, those that whisper, you are incapable of change, or your life is destined for ruin, or your endeavors are worthless. Such voices do not originate from me. They come from the enemy of your soul, seeking to rob you of confidence before your breakthrough appears. Thus I say, do not engage them. Do not reason with them. Stand your ground and respond with unwavering belief. With the one who cherishes me, nothing is impossible. Do not undervalue the force of a single utterance. A timely "I believe you will triumph" can embed a spark of vitality in someone hovering at the edge of despair. A quiet "I see you're drained, but I'm here" may be the only lifeline preserving a soul afloat in turbulent seas. These kinds of words, carry them with you each day. It's unnecessary to be polished in speech, nor must you use elaborate phrases. Sincerity mingled with compassion and faith suffices. Even if you feel insecure, even if feebleness clings to your spirit, keep speaking life. When you vocalize what is right and genuine in faith, it not only blesses listeners but reshapes you deep inside. True faith does not flourish when life is easy. It arises in the intervals when you insist on truth amid contradiction. As you do, you shatter the intangible shackles of trepidation, worry, and self-doubt that have bound you for too long. Remember, my cherished one, I do not offer hollow assurances. I give you my spirit, the one dwelling in you, the one acting through you, who will lend you the words you need at the very moment. Fear not if you feel inadequate. I will be your abundance. I will set apt words on your lips, place tenderness in your heart for comfort, and grant you courageous eyes to behold reality and still opt for love. Also recall that the words you sow today will take root and flower in the near future. Each uplifting word is a seed. Each statement of faith is a stride taken upon waters churned by waves. Every heartfelt phrase becomes a bridge connecting you to the glorious destiny already reserved for you. There is no need to wait for calmer conditions before speaking life. It is precisely this expression that will guide you and others towards stability. Hence, from this day on, my dearest child, guard your mouth like the gates of a fortress. Let your speech be like cool streams, reviving souls grown tired. Let whatever you say echo the radiance I have ignited in you. Even when no one answers, continue sowing life-filled words, for you also will expand through the very affirmations you release in faith. Embrace the truth I offer, not as a fleeting source of solace, but as a sacred flame that dispels all doubt, lighting every decision, each choice, each journey you undertake. This truth is not just a compilation of lofty ideals to ponder. It is the unshakable bedrock on which every facet of your life must stand. Allow it to penetrate your mind, cutting through each layer of reasoning and transcending even the memories that taught you to fear or question. Let this truth function as your internal compass, guiding you when you face the choice between easy and correct, between comfort and what is sacred, showing you how to choose all that belongs to the light. You will encounter hardships, I do not promise a life without pain. Nonetheless, rest assured, no challenge will ever surpass the power I have set within you. There might be seasons when doubts swarm inside, persistent voices prompting you to question yourself, your journey, and the promise I planted in your soul long ago. You could look at your finances and see a gap exceeding your means, feel burdens heavier than your stamina. Within your household, there may be conflicts smoldering or wounds waiting to be soothed, making you feel as though you bear the weight of a fractured home. I see it all, and I do not forsake you then. Rather, I am nearer than ever, eager to intervene, uphold, and reshape everything, if only you invite me into it. Disagreements, gaps in understanding, and the sharp stings between hearts are not your conclusion. They are signals to return to the one who can stitch together what the world believes irreparable. However grim the situation appears, however burdened your heart feels with silent dread, know this: there is always an open door, and that door is my presence, a help already prepared, not requiring your proof of merit, but just a sincere admission. Father, I need you. No prerequisites, no ceremony, just honest humility. Then I will pour in like rain on parched soil, like the dawn gently ending a long night. So do not wait another moment. Do not linger until you feel more secure, more deserving, or less inundated. Set out on the path of restoration today. Pause amid the commotion and speak quietly in your heart. Father, I need your aid. That one modest plea can alter the entire trajectory of your existence. Open your heart and accept what I present. Do not brush aside the tiny signs I send. A call arriving just in time, a thought echoing persistently, a dream that stirs your innermost being, a verse from Scripture found by divine prompt. These are not accidents. They are help from above, markers to remind you that you are not abandoned. You are simply being led back to your rightful home. Once you begin receiving this assistance, you will sense every dimension of your soul being revitalized. Spots that seemed devoid of life will take breath again. The areas you shied away from because the pain was too great will be brightened by love. I will not overwhelm you. My approach will be gentle, patient, like daybreak's glow on a window pane. But as time passes, step by step, you will see inner renewal occurring, not only at the surface, but deep within your being. I shall return to you everything lost: confidence, compassion, absolution, endurance, and gladness. I will accomplish this not solely for your own benefit, but so you may become a source of replenishment for others. Once you find healing, you will serve as a healer. Once you are rebuilt, you will grasp how to hold up those collapsing around you. In this stillness, I beckon you to come nearer, not with a polished mask or with accomplishments you imagine make you worthy, but simply as you are, in full honesty. Appear before me as you are, bringing your unresolved issues, your half-met dreams, your troubles that press on you, because I do not love you after you are perfected. I love you in your midst of learning to mend, trusting, and releasing. There is no need to have all things in perfect order before you approach me. It is in your chaos that I wait. It is in your tangles that I stand ready to step in and carefully unravel each knot. Let me take over the part you are too worn to carry alone. But if you truly treasure what I am placing before you, these words, these fresh starts, these mercies that awaken each morning, then prove it in the way you live. Because love is never just a sensation, it is a consistent choice seen through action. Gratitude is not solely vocalized, it is verified by the day-to-day decisions you make. I do not ask you for monumental achievements to show your devotion. I only request that you learn to place me first in a world drowning in diversions. Hear this closely, my beloved. Those small disturbances, a text, a notification, a drifting reflection, are inconspicuously stealing invaluable moments. The very seconds in which you could have touched real life, gained timely direction, or simply found rest in my soothing presence. They are neither huge nor alarming, but exactly because they are so customary, they slip in undetected and take hold. They lead you to race past whatever you should pause and contemplate. They make you fail to remember that your soul needs stillness to perceive me. Remain watchful, dear one. Notice how trivial details can become massive obstacles. Halt. Inhale deeply, not only through your lungs but with your spirit, and exhale your tension, your diversions, the self-imposed drive to maintain pace. Seek refuge in my presence as you would in a secure hiding place. This is not another box to tick off. It is the wellspring for your soul. It is the time in which you stop needing to act strong and can simply be my child at rest in my everlasting arms. While you sit quietly in that haven, you will start to recall what the frantic hustle of life made you forget, that I am speaking to you, that my voice does not arrive in thunder, but through a gentle breeze, without haste, without force, yet always overflowing with tenderness and love. My child, do you see that the relentless forces draining you are not accidental? These subtler yet more effective diversions are specifically crafted to divert you from our precious place of connection. They tell you there is no time to pause, no energy for prayer, no serenity to listen. They flourish in your constant state of motion, where you think you are advancing, yet you are actually spinning in circles, missing direction. I never intended your life to transform into a tireless machine. I fashioned you to live, to sense, to be heard, and to be loved. However, if you are endlessly producing, forever giving, without ever pausing to be replenished, you gradually lose your orientation. In that confusion, the only voice remaining is the cry of pressure, of burdens, of disappointment, not my voice. Hence, I extend a fresh invitation today. You need not reshape your entire life immediately. You only need to decide to stop for several minutes and let me communicate with you. Simply make the choice to carve out space in which your soul can listen, not with your ears, but with your heart. As soon as you do, it will astound you to realize He has been here the whole time. He never went away. And you, in your busy, worn, or lost state, remain the child I have waited for, calling you back to me with immeasurable fondness. Embrace this not out of a rigid sense of duty, but because your spirit is worthy of rest. Opt to return to authentic breathing, to genuine presence, to sacred silence where every racket evaporates until only you and I remain. In that realm, I will show you what no eye has witnessed, no ear has heard, and no mind has conceived. Ideas not of human making, promises unbounded by external conditions, transformations that blossom in the most concealed corners. Come just as you are, my beloved, and I, who never tire of loving you, will handle everything else. Give me the intervals needed to mend you. Grant me the moments to replenish you. Then you will find that your life is no longer governed by the frantic pulse of this era, but rather by the calm, potent heartbeat of heaven pulsing in your own chest. You were not designed for unending depletion. You were designed to flourish in my presence. It is precisely this presence, right now, summoning you back. You have raised your gaze, pleading for me to create a passage through the confusion of exhaustion and troubles. Today I come, not merely to answer that plea, but to draw you toward a deeper revelation. You do not only need an exit, you need authentic emancipation. Such freedom does not hinge on shifting situations, but on the renewal of your soul. What you yearn for is not located beyond you, reliant on others or on your environment. It originates within, from the moment your soul is completely engulfed by my love, unchanging, endless, and whole. When my love envelops you, not just as a theory, but as a vibrant, breathing reality, every internal bond begins to break. Fear subsides, anxiety mellows, and resentment can no longer occupy the dark corners of your heart. Do you grasp what transpires when you genuinely begin to understand me? Not through mere intellectual assent, but with your entire being. When you allow my essence to saturate every concealed place of your soul, even those compartments locked away out of dread or ache, what happens is thorough healing, not fierce or rushed, but gentle, like morning light dissolving the haze. The more you comprehend me, the more your old burdens stop clutching at your spirit. The ghosts from your history fade, not because they never existed, but because my love is mightier than their echoes. Observe your day-to-day life. Perhaps you do not notice anything striking in progress, but pay attention to the smallest details. Have you found that your heart does not race as it once did when waves crash in? That you have learned to quietly remain when misconstrued, to pardon when injured, to remain resolute in faith although answers are still on the horizon? These are indicators that my love is quietly but powerfully healing you, piece by piece, layer by layer, each fractured part being renewed by grace. Do not await some sudden spectacular display. The grandest miracle is not what instantly changes before your eyes. Rather, it is the calm, steady development of a spirit steadily restored, day after day, moment by moment. It is in those times when you trust in me, not because I always grant your requests, but because you recognize I always meet your genuine needs. It is when you understand you need not manage everything because I am already there, enfolding your hand through every step I predetermined. Real liberty does not emerge when you strive to orchestrate everything in your life, but when you learn the meaning of surrender, not out of fatigue but from faith. Faith that my arm is big enough to carry what baffles you, strong enough to secure you, and kind enough to dry your tears without diminishing you. My cherished child, let my love be the sanctuary for your spirit. Whenever you choose to rest in my presence instead of chasing ephemeral illusions, you draw one step closer to authentic freedom. When you open your heart and let me shine light into the spaces you kept locked, you discover there is nothing left to hide, nothing to mask. My love will not arrive to pass judgment, but to build up, not to interrogate, but to shelter, not to accuse, but to liberate. Do not sprint through this journey. Avoid gauging transformation by mere external results. Measure it by the tranquility forming inside you. Measure it by those moments you choose gentleness over revenge, steadiness instead of withdrawal, faith rather than bitterness. These are indicators of a soul being drawn closer into my own heart. And here is the wonder. You will not be alone in this. I will stay by your side in every phase, through every desert, every storm. I will supply you with strength when you wilt. I will whisper truth when you forget. I will see for you when the fog is thick. And I myself will be the joy no one can snatch from you. So press on, my dear one. Even if you do so slowly, even trembling, tread forward confidently in the knowledge that I am guiding you. If you slip, remember I remain near, not to chastise but to help you stand again. True deliverance is not the absence of slipping, but the constant presence of a hand prepared to lift you. You have asked me to carve a way forward, and I answer that the path is already opening inside your own heart, in the presence I offer you day by day. Keep moving toward the light. Let my love serve as the inception of every chain, and you will see that freedom is not found by scouring distant lands, but as a gift, unfolding step by step, as you allow me to be the shelter of your soul. My dear child, at this point, with your heart open to accept the profound reality of the love and salvation I extend, let me inhabit the innermost rooms of your spirit, not as a visitor, but as the timeless king, the eternal ruler of your being. Allow me to be not just the one you run to when in need, but the haven where you are truly at home, the one to whom you offer your whole life with complete trust, surrender, and devotion. You once endeavored to keep your composure through storms, to remain upright amidst trial, though your heart quaked with worry. But now, I tell you, you need not fight alone. Let me be your protector, the fortress when the ground shakes, the mighty arm that lifts you whenever you collapse, the hidden shield that intercepts stealthy arrows of fear and doubt. When I occupy your heart, nothing can rob you of the calm that excels all reasoning. In this precise interval, amid the weary echoes of living, I call out, raise your hands, not as a sign of defeat, but as a triumphant emblem of conquest. Even if you are drained, convinced you have no more to give, weary from waiting and frustrated by delays, I still beckon you to stand and lift your eyes. In the invisible realm, choosing to surrender to me unlocks victory's door. When you lift your hands, you embrace me, and at the same moment, reject every shackle darkness tried to fasten on you. Let your hands become the channel between heaven and earth. Let each motion proclaim, though my circumstances remain unchanged, my heart has been renewed. And this seeming gesture of simplicity, when you elevate your hands in faith, rings through the heavens as a clarion that a warrior has determined not to give in. My beloved, I witnessed how many times you sat quietly due to sheer exhaustion, how often you lowered your head in disheartenment, yet my gaze never departed. Today, as you raise those hands in trust, I will stir what appeared immovable around you. You may feel perplexed, lacking direction. The stirring within is faint, and you might not recall your initial purpose. But recall this: faith is not dictated by emotions. It breathes by what is real. The reality is, you have been chosen, marked with my name. You are not defeated. You are not ruled by fate. You are not forgotten. You are someone I have appointed, trained, prepared, and sent. Even if your own eyes have yet to behold victory, in heaven a standard is already lifted in your honor. Sweep away those negative inner dialogues as you would clear rubble from a path. Do not clutch to the old remarks that cast doubt on your worth. Do not permit the world's silence to convince you that you are invisible. Do not let the scornful laughs or the cold disregard of others deafen you to my voice whispering within. Release it. Shake off the dust and rise as one renewed. Not through your deeds, but through the steadfast faithfulness of the one who drew you from darkness into glorious radiance. When you raise your hands, avoid doing so mechanically. Do it with a spirit that understands something is shifting in the realm you cannot see, that a surge of might is being released, a victory is being secured, not by weapon or blade, but by a heart choosing faith amid the chaos. I am moving, not when you boast of strength, but in the midst of your frailty, as you still choose surrender. That is the essence of true might. That is genuine triumph. Therefore, allow your hands, though they shake from fatigue, to become a tangible representation of unbreakable faith. For within you I have placed a victory that surpasses conditions, a triumph not gained by dodging trials, but by journeying through them in unwavering faith. I have declared you victorious even before you believed you deserved such a title, because your win does not stem from you, but from me, the one who has conquered everything. Maintain that posture, my child. Keep lifting your hands, though they have collapsed in weariness before. Lift them confidently, reminding your soul, I belong to a kingdom that cannot be overthrown. Let every negative force, every denying statement, every outer pressuring voice retreat in the glow of one shining truth. You are a victor, not because you never fell, but because you have continuously chosen to rise in faith. My beloved, engrave this promise into the core of your being. You are truly freed, not a short-lived release, not a partial one, nor one reliant on surroundings, but an enduring deliverance born of the unwavering love of the one who reclaimed you. You are no longer imprisoned by your past. You are no longer bound by recollections of pain. You need not live haunted by false verdicts that weighed you down for so many years. You are now cleansed, lifted, and set where I intended you to dwell since the beginning. Receive this freedom as both a sacred offering and a powerful instrument. It is not for secret keeping, but a sword of faith to brandish every time old thoughts, painful memories, or harmful words try to creep back in. Stand resolute, not just because your hopes are lifted, but because you have been remolded in my image, in the image of the Almighty, brimming with tenderness and power. Remember, it was I who instilled in you a new nature, the identity of one who is designated, anointed, and equipped to flourish above any situation. Let no one, not even your own self-perceptions, deny that certainty. Base your identity on my declarations. Do not allow fleeting sentiments or voices from those who once harmed you to define your worth. Do not let the cold stare of the world make you doubt the sacred value you carry. Do not let recollections of failures dim the bright future I am unveiling before you. You no longer live for earthly validation. You live under heaven's seal of approval. I, who witness all, know all, and love you entirely, proclaim this: you hold a dignity no one can strip away. You contain a worth impossible to weigh with words or earthly scales. Even if humanity turns its back, even if dearest companions fail to understand, even if friends withdraw, you remain the cherished jewel in my grasp. The same child I have chosen, the soul I will forever protect. My dear one, let this knowledge burn within like a sacred flame, a light the darkness can never consume. If voices insist you are insufficient, recall that I have named you enough. When your world tries to pull you into self-doubt, focus again on my truth. You were miraculously created. When old wounds shriek you are undeserving of goodness, stand firm in faith, knowing I have singled you out for something far greater than your fears. And if it were required, I would do all of it again. Come down, endure the depths, stretch forth my arm to save you from despair. Do you grasp my motivation? Because I refuse to stand aside while the child I adore suffers in the dark. Because the love I have for you is more than a statement. It is action, it is blood, it is tears, it is power outlasting every boundary of time and distance. Consider this: if an earthly parent is prepared to sacrifice anything for a cherished child, how much more will I, your heavenly Father, the origin of all true love, relinquish to see you free? That willingness was displayed not just once, but is eternally manifested through the cross and through each hidden moment when I mended your broken nights, clearing your tears, whispering, "You are still mine." So fear no longer, my precious one. Do not travel as if still shackled. Walk in the upright posture of someone who has been redeemed at immeasurable cost. Lift your head high, not from arrogance, but because I have restored you. Love yourself in a way that honors the fact that I love you constantly. From this fountain, love others, not for reciprocity, but because the abundance of love in you is now overflowing. Permit every utterance you make, every choice, every deed to reflect a single reality: that you are one who has been liberated. You are someone who once lay wounded but now rises on that same soil where you once fell. You are living proof that light triumphs over darkness, not once but repeatedly, daily, consistently, in every aspect of life. And my child, if there is ever a time you forget, if battles weigh so heavily that your light dims, simply come back. Return to the place where it all started, where I spoke your name from the darkness, where I embraced your hand and placed new life within you. No searching in remote corners is necessary. Merely utter a single cry, and I will appear again, reminding you of what you must know. You are the one I redeemed, a child of the King, never forsaken. My beloved, as you proceed on the new road I am unveiling, prepare your heart to accept that not everyone will spontaneously greet your transformation with warmth. The spiritual metamorphosis in you, the bright restoration, the newly glowing soul, the unwavering peace, will leave some in your circle puzzled, possibly uneasy. Some glances might reveal skepticism. Some remarks might tease you. Even people who are close may create distance, unable to grasp what is stirring inside you. But child, do not let rejection sway your heart. The profound shift within you is the result of my touch. The one who knows you exhaustively, who saw you in your darkest pit, who brought you out of the abyss. When your life starts reflecting this new luminescence, it not only disperses your own shadows, but also highlights the dark edges in others. Hence, you may find some who resist what they have yet to experience themselves. However, believe me, this is not a sign you took the wrong route. In fact, it means you are exactly where you must be. Light always unsettles darkness, and the presence of genuine light, a serenity no one can replicate, a power that defies logic, creates unrest in hearts still torn between faith and fear. Thus, when you meet with resistance, resist the urge to react with hurt or wrath. Do not feel obliged to verify your innocence with debates or evidence. Let your life bear testimony. Let your style of loving, your capacity for restraint at the right time and boldness when it matters, speak volumes about the internal transformation I have set in motion. Let the way you live convey my truth, not by proclaiming moral superiority, but through genuine humility and a deep wish to draw others from their own darkness. I am aware that you have known the fear of not being understood. I know the phases in your life when all you desperately wanted was acceptance, a place of belonging, unconditional trust. Now that I am transforming you from inside out, once again you may confront skepticism, this time from those you once hoped would accompany you. But do not be shaken, my beloved. I am equipping you not just to be saved, but to act as a rescuer. Not merely to be guided, but to serve as a guide. It is precisely those episodes of doubt, misinterpretation, and conflict that foster your compassion, your patience, and your bravery. I do not require you to become callous to refute others. I need you unwavering so you do not lose your identity in the chaos. Truth has no need to scream in order to be heard. It only needs to exist, complete, authentic, and clear. You in this renewed life are the conduit through which that truth will flow. When people remark, "You have changed, you're not the same," respond with a soft smile, "Yes, I have been restored." When they ask, "Why live this way? What are you after?" let your gaze sparkle with hope. I discovered a love that never fails. If they keep their distance, remain open with my love so that one day they may discover me, not by your arguments, but through your example. Real inner change is not a mere alteration in appearance. It is a holy journey, quiet, unwavering, woven into each modest choice you make. Remain unshakable. Keep your heart tender. Continue forward, even if no one else concurs with you. I suffice. My love suffices. My affirmation is the solid ground securing you from the world's critique. Let the light within you stand as a warming presence for those trembling in the night. No condemnation is needed. No battle for evidence, just your full, faithful, and kind presence. Travel with feet bathed in forgiveness, hands extended in kindness, and eyes always seeking ways to love deeper, pardon more completely, and raise others higher. My beloved, I have breathed into you my very spirit, an essence unyielding, drenched in compassion, overflowing with patience, and brimming with mercy. I did not simply lift you from shadow. I have endowed you with light so you may serve as a true expression of my heart in a world gradually forgetting how to love. You were not just appointed to walk in the light, but to convey it into places immersed in sorrow, bitterness, and despair. May every motion, every look, every word, and every act deliver the sweet perfume of the compassion I sowed in your spirit's depths. In moments when others quickly lose tolerance, let it be you who remain steadfast. When society opts for a harsher reaction, let it be you who follows the road of gentleness, not out of weakness, but because you carry within a quiet yet potent power, born of the one who laid down his own life to bring forth salvation. I recognize there are times your heart might try to close itself. Maybe you have been hurt in past openness, ridiculed for your tenderness, exploited for your kindness. But my child, do not allow these experiences to toughen your heart. A numb heart is not my dwelling place. I did not design you for indifference, but for tender mercy. When you decide to love once more, to keep believing, to stay open even in the harshest conditions, that is the purest manifestation of the divine nature within you. Hold your heart open at all costs. Do not let old afflictions push you to disbelieve the goodness I am pouring into your present. Let your heart be slightly ajar, always ready to inhale wisdom from above. There are truths inaccessible in any text or from mortal voices alone. Some of the most profound revelations are imparted only when you remain completely still, no longer controlled by society's noise. There will be times I arrive to you in a blessed silence, a silence in which no words pass, yet everything is conveyed. In that quiet, I pour upon you a serenity beyond all logic. You will sense my presence not through formal teaching, but through stillness, like a gentle breeze rippling across a serene lake. Fear not that hush, my child, for in it lies the deepest bond between us. Honor it. Discover how to be still and recognize that I am God, the one loving you, not as a fleeting vow, but as a continuous reality. Other times, I will speak distinctly, phrases that bypass your ears and go straight to your heart. A piece of scripture, previously read hundreds of times, might all at once blaze with new significance. A fleeting comment from a friend or a stranger may come at just the right moment, revealing my spirit's voice. And sometimes, through a faithful companion, someone I chose to stand alongside you, I will transmit my direction, whether through their gentle words, their prayers, or their silent, empathetic presence. Do not block your heart from truth because it arrives in an unexpected package. Do not dismiss gentle correction because the messenger differs from you. I can channel my voice through anything, anyone, if only you are open and ready to hear. It could be a child's simple trust, or the wise reflection of a seasoned elder, or an ordinary instant in your day that becomes extraordinary through spiritual perception. Live always in a posture of seeking me, and you will begin to see me everywhere, in every nuance, every breath, each pulsation of life. Always bear in mind, my beloved, the nearer you come to my likeness, the more you will find yourself drifting apart from earthly priorities. Conversations you once partook in will no longer stir your interest. You will not so readily succumb to judging or be swept into trivial dreads. But do not mourn these changes. They are the testimony of spiritual growth. Regard them as clear evidence that you are being changed from glory to glory. On this course, you will not journey alone. I will do more than reveal the righteous path. I will also walk next to you, empowering you in each intention to do right. I will embolden you when you pick love over anger. I will bear you up when you choose mercy again, though the pain persists. I will enlighten you when you pause to listen rather than reacting impulsively. Each time you embody my qualities, you sow seeds belonging to heaven's realm. Those seeds will produce sweet fruit for your soul, offering shelter for those who cross your path. I whisper into your spirit an unchanging assurance. My love for you is not merely adequate to calm you, but strong enough to banish every shadow. My love is the most secure haven in hidden storms, a castle unmoved by the roaring threats of anxiety and confusion. It does not simply cocoon you softly when you are frail, but also provides an unseen weapon, enabling you to remain firm on unknown battlegrounds. Whenever intimidation, or doubt comes like a violent current, remember you are not alone. Do not let fear stealthily remove the peace I have poured into you. Quickly fall back on truth, the words I have spoken, forever etched, invulnerable to time or events. Let your speech act as a doorway through which heaven's might is unleashed. Feel free to speak out loud. Declare my assurances. Let your voice ring out as the clarion of a spiritual soldier, unyielding, fearless, and rooted in faith. In proclaiming truth, whether softly or with intensity, the hidden domain cannot help but respond. Affirm my protection over the place you reside, over those you hold dear, over your every stride. Consecrate each room with my word. Seal each doorway under the power of the Holy Spirit. Reiterate my promise. No weapon formed against you shall prevail. Let my word be your armor, my truth your bulwark, my name the sign flying high over your realm. You are not as breakable as you once believed. Within you lives a might from my own essence, not human resilience, but a divine courage, unwavering boldness, and insight that proceed from the one who never wavers. With the consciousness that I dwell in you, no force can unseat you from that cornerstone. Let courage be your rebuttal to threats. Let the clarity inside your spirit become the lantern guiding you when the way seems faint. Do not forget this, my child. Joy is a weapon of remarkable potency, not just an emotion, but among the greatest spiritual countermeasures against darkness. If you choose joy in affliction, the enemy stands confounded. When you sing amid turmoil, evil trembles. If you lift your head in thanks, although everything around is collapsing, the spiritual realm quakes. Joy in the midst of adversity signals that you are upheld by a strength that surpasses any suffering. When your heart surges in that sacred joy, no force can hinder your progress. Such joy is not born of ideal conditions, but of the unwavering fact that I remain present, near, unchanging, and steadfast. The enemy will fail to comprehend how you keep singing amid wreckage, how you carry on when the world dissolves. That enigma destabilizes them. They cannot decode a spirit that glorifies the Almighty, even enveloped by shadows. My beloved, remember, your devotion is not tested in smooth sailing. It is revealed in each decision you make in the narrow gap between doubt and faith. Whenever you elect to persevere though unseen, whenever you offer me honor with nothing to celebrate, whenever you pray tearfully without surrender, these moments form the peak of worship. I observe them all, and what is done in secrecy I will announce and reward publicly. My love does not demand flawlessness from you, but it always draws you into deeper waters. Your devotion burns like a torch that the enemy cannot snuff out. It embodies the covenant between you and me, a bond not created by law or religion, but by love, trust, and life derived from me. When you turn your heart toward me, you step into a holy realm where circumstances lose their power to rob you of true joy. Let each day serve as reverence. Let every breath, each footstep, every choice, and each word mirror this truth. I belong to the one who fashioned me from nothing. Do not underestimate the spiritual effect you possess, for you do not live for your own gain. Your loyalty to me crushes chains for those encircling you. Onlookers still wandering in the dark, silently longing for a speck of light. Hence, my beloved, let joy be the ceaseless anthem on your lips. Let devotion be the fragrance emanating from your soul. Allow my perfect love to drive out fear, gradually but surely. For you are not just one receiving love, you are now the carrier of that love in a cold world. No matter how grim this place is, it cannot defy the blaze that I have sparked within you. For that fire descends from heaven, and you are the flame I have kindled. My precious child, there are times on this path when everything around you appears lost in fog, when you can't see the steps ahead or hold on to hope in any tangible way. Surges of uncertainty and despondency loom, threatening to devour your spirit. These voices do not only resound in the external, but also whisper inside, telling you your strength is spent, that there is no point in continuing, no ally to trust, no anchor to cling to. Yet I speak with total love and authority. When the sea rages, I am the one who stills the surf and lulls the gusts. When your heart quivers before silent storms, I stand with eternal life's power to command each storm to back down. Even if you feel yourself sinking, my sight has never left you, and with a word I can command the floods to retreat. For I am not merely a deity who stands by, I am the God who intervenes on your behalf. Sometimes you reach the boundary of human resilience, where every root is drained, where no one appears to listen, where assistance has become mute. But dear one, it is exactly then that my moment comes. My might is not here to substitute your actions, but to accomplish what you alone cannot. In your emptiness, I am fullness. In your frailty, I am strength. In your wordless despair, I speak your name with a living hope. Do not hesitate to seek me, even if you have no polished prayer. Simply surrender your heart into my hands with a quiet, "Father, help me." That raw plea suffices for me to intervene. I will illuminate the darkness you believed irreversible. I will revive the spark of hope you were sure had died. I will guide your feet back onto solid ground. Whenever you feel the ground below collapsing, lean on my words, which carried people for generations, which infused life into the dead, which illuminated chaos at creation's beginning. Let every utterance from me become the crimson thread weaving trust into your being. Reject allowing your mind to be overtaken by fearful murmurs. Let my voice rise above doubt. Speak louder than sorrow. Shine more brilliantly than any darkness you can traverse. Remind yourself daily, you are not adrift, you are not overlooked, you are not doomed. You are mine. You are the one I have named. You exist in me. A truth that cannot be undone, a reality no power can take away. Let this truth echo as an undercurrent behind every breath, each step, each instant. Repeat it until all other voices fall silent, until each old label and condemnation fades like dawn chasing away the night. Live attuned to this. You do not face tribulation alone. It is I who walks beside you, steadies you, murmuring in your soul every time you stumble. Rise again, for a new chapter awaits. Even when all else turns monochrome, I will color your path with touches of mercy, faithfulness, and hope unfading. I realize you endure days when you feel numb. You read my words, yet your spirit remains barren. You pray, but hear only a void. Nonetheless, my beloved, in precisely these hours I am acting in the hidden depths, like roots burrowing unseen, essential. My hush is not absence, but a prompting for a deeper reliance. Endure, for even in the waiting your confidence is fortified daily. A time will come when, looking back, you will see that the place of your perceived failure, the season that felt final, was the birth of something far more glorious. I will convert what you considered ruin into the basis of wisdom. I will reshape every tear into a sacred seed. Then you will know that in my hands, no moment of your life is wasted. Therefore, my child, go forward. Keep walking even when you are worn. Keep trusting even as tears fill your eyes. Keep venturing ahead although the way is hazy. I am your light, and each step, whether firm or unsteady, brings you nearer to what I have arranged. A realm where the enemy's voice is silenced, where past chains loosen, and where an enduring peace settles in those who know their allegiance is to a realm unshakable. Every time you choose to rely on me, perhaps with only a faint glimmer of hope in absolute darkness, angels celebrate. You never stand alone in your faith. You are not solitary in contending with the shadows. Heaven itself sides with you, journeys with you, holds you with a love beyond mortal understanding. Every modest act done by faith, every silent prayer through sobs, each forgiving step you take in agony, every shaky move onward is a holy affirmation that you live by deeper conviction than sight. And, my dear one, that is the astounding splendor within you. Not your physique, not your gifts, not your worldly standing, but the quiet resilience of your soul. The ability to trust despite no proof, to endure dryness of spirit, and to open your heart to love even after it was broken. Your worth is not secured by your achievements, but by the one who made and chose you even before your mother's womb. You are a treasure, a beacon, an invaluable presence here, for I myself placed you here with a specific mission no one else can accomplish. So come, my child. No shame or preparation is necessary. I do not ask you to approach me spotless. I only wish for you to be sincere. It does not matter how long you have stayed away, how much you believe you have lost, or how many steps you feel you've wandered from your calling. I remain here, arms wide open, heart entirely yours. Come back into my company like a tired child returning home after an extended trip, for it is here you genuinely belong. Lay at my feet your burdens, and you will not have to keep carrying them. Cast off your weighted thoughts, the unnamed concerns, the unanswered riddles, everything that settles on your heart like a heavy stone. Hand them to me, and I will breathe life into them. I will replace your fatigue with revitalization, trading your weariness for the endless supply of the Holy Spirit. You were never meant to exist under constant burdens. You were meant to walk intimately with me, in the unforced rhythms of my truth and the stream of my kindness. If you harbor doubts about your identity, your destiny, or even about me, do not bury them. Offer those uncertainties too. I do not recoil from your genuine inquiries. I am not offended by your frankness. On the contrary, it is in precisely that raw sincerity that I can lead you toward clarity. I will awaken the eyes of your heart, letting you see what intellectual analysis alone cannot contain. What was clouded will gradually crystallize. The tangles you could not untie will loosen beneath the glow of my discernment. Let me be the one to bring light to every dim space in your soul, and you will walk forward unafraid of stumbling. If you feel as though you hold only scattered remnants of a previous life, a dream once shattered, a trust once betrayed, a love once discarded, I urge you to surrender those pieces into my hands. You needn't reconstruct them yourself, nor pretend that all is fine. Let me cradle them. For I, who birthed the cosmos from emptiness, can craft a new creation from those remnants. not a patchwork of the old, but something wholly transformed, more splendid, more profound, stamped with my restorative fingerprint. I will not just mend you, I will sculpt your life into a living testament to my loyalty. Every fracture will serve as an opening for my light. Every sorrowful page will be reshaped with a different finale. Each time you rise again, every time you choose to trust, I will use it to hearten another on the brink of collapse. You will not be healed merely for your own sake, but to become a vessel of living water for countless souls dying of thirst around you. When you live like this, redeemed, cherished, chosen to impart life, heaven itself cannot stop rejoicing, because every choice to trust is not a lone act. It is a spiritual pronouncement that light persists in triumph, that love surpasses wounds, that heaven continues working through the humble who dare to believe. So, my beloved, do not cease coming, do not cease believing, do not cease placing your fragile heart into my hands, repeatedly, endlessly. I never weary of embracing you. Rather, every time you utter my name, my heart rejoices. I will keep receiving you, steadying you, healing you, and painting with your life a masterpiece only you can present to this world. Suggested closing prayer. Lord, I thank you for guiding me to this profound moment of acknowledgement. Enable me to discard the barriers I've erected to protect my heart from old hurts. I present my soul to you, exposing every part I've long hidden, trusting you to enter and heal every wounded area. Touch my inner self with your boundless love and restore me to the original intention you held for me in my creation. I yearn to exist fully in truth. No more masking, no more terror, but entirely surrendered. Lord, I appear before you empty-handed, but longing deeply for truth. I am drained from living under the world's frenetic pulse, and now I want only to align with heaven's gentle flow. Teach me to revere stillness, so I might hear your voice more distinctly in the hush. Please grant me spiritual ears to recognize what fortifies my soul and spiritual vision to uncover holy gems embedded in life's simplest instances. I do not crave signs or wonders in mere externals, but I beg you to reshape me inwardly. Liberate me from the shackles of my yesterdays, from the what-ifs and the disappointments, from self-accusation and unnamed sorrow. I believe you can bring forth beauty from my brokenness, so I offer these fragments to you. Begin anew in me, Father, turning every scar into a testimony of your healing and mighty love. Lord, grant me a compassionate heart, tender enough to keep extending love after pain, yet strong enough to remain hopeful even after letting go. Take away any bitterness that has stayed too long and fill those empty places with the life-giving flow of forgiveness. Give me the bravery to lay down these burdens, to let go of memories that block my sacred calling, and to journey free in the liberty you secured for me at a staggering price. Lord, I raise my hands not out of perfect virtue, but as a declaration of faith. Even as storms rage, I profess that you are where I belong, my sanctuary, my tower. Grant me the perseverance to remain steadfast, despite rejection, skepticism, or misunderstanding from others. I understand that I am favored not by human endorsement, but by your ever-faithful love. I press forward, supported by heaven's certainty, choosing not to look behind me. Teach me simply to rest in your presence, no longer feeling a need to prove anything. Do in me what I myself cannot achieve. Mend my broken pieces, soothe my tears, and whisper to the depths of my heart, you are still mine. I will no longer race. I want each breath to be sacred, truly present with you. Reveal what clutters my thoughts, what swallows my time but lacks eternal significance. Show me how to place weight on what nourishes my soul, rejecting the distractions that are not from you. Help me recognize when it is time to withdraw, to be still, or to stand firm in the light of divine understanding. Awaken in me a joy that depends not on outside factors, but on the assurance of your presence, alive, operative, and contending for me. May this spiritual joy stand as a sharp sword that terrifies darkness, elevating my soul above every concern. I choose to exalt you during the storm, for I understand who grasps my hand. I yield to you every word that leaves my mouth, every thought that arises, every path I take. May my words act as life's fountain, nourishing not only my own heart, but those around me. Keep me from speaking out of hurt or lashing out, and instead guide me to heal, uplift, and fortify. Go now into the sacred stillness you've discovered today, and remember, whenever the world's noise steals your peace, return here and let these words anchor your soul. Subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss the next whisper of renewal I pour out. Your spirit needs this sanctuary again and again. Comment below with the moment you chose to pause and listen, and share this message with someone whose heart is longing for revival. Keep coming back. Each time you do, you'll find fresh mercy, deeper insight, and a new spark of hope waiting to ignite your journey. Until we meet again, carry this promise with you. I am with you always, and here you will always find your way home. Amen.